In this video, we're going to be talking about the feet. And so today we're just going to look at a few ways that we can work with the feet, stretch it out, create space, and feel really great afterwards. All right, so take a look at your foot. So we're going to inspect the foot. So if we see here, we can work with a few simple concepts. So we look at the arch of the foot. So we have an arch, and every arch is a little different. And we have these 2 points that we'll call. So the big ball of the toe and the heel here, which are points that we fix into the ground. And then we lift the bottom of the arch and the top of the arch. But the bottom of the arch initiates the action and lifts the top of the arch. Foot. So I also have an arch. I have arches on each of the toes and they go back towards the heel. And so there's also a tiny arch here for the pinky. So there's also that point here where the ball of the pinky is fixed into the floor, and so it's the heel. And I also lift the pinky arch. On most poses, I'm going to want to focus on that 4th arch. This is the hardest to lift. The smaller ones, and so press that into the ground, the ball of the toe, and lift that arch here too. So we're not just lifting our biggest and strongest arch, but we're also lifting here. There's also an imagery of having the 5 toes coming out of the heel as well, and we're spreading those. So spread the toes of the heel, spread the toes, and then lift the arch and line the feet so that they're hip widths apart. And what we start doing is just observing. Sometimes we have a collapse to the side. Sometimes we have this tendency to stand on the outside of the feet. So check out what it is that your foot naturally does. Sometimes there's a tendency of turning one foot out and just resting on that instep. So check out if you're not thinking about it, what is your go-to? Sometimes we really clench the toes here. Sometimes the foot, from wearing heels or the wrong kind of shoes or really narrow shoes for your feet, the feet can learn all kinds of different behaviors. And so we start working on the feet and we understand that we really are training the brain, right? So every movement that you make is going to send that information and it's going to retrain the brain, or actually teach the brain something. What happens to your pinky? Is the pinky completely disconnected with the rest of the toes? Is it just hanging there for the ride? So we can, start spreading the toes, and eventually we can even connect with the pinky and spread the pinky as well. So, and if you're barefoot in the shower, then take that opportunity to spread the toes. And make sure that when you spread the toes that you're not also spreading the fingers. So just to the toes. And then press those 4 points, those 4 mounds of the pinky and the mound of the big toe. And then the 2 points on the inner and outer heel, press those into the mat and then lift the arch. See what happens. So then there's an action of the knee also that you're not pressing the knee back. So it's nice to be sometimes against a wall and press that knee up towards the wall, not back towards the wall. So the knee comes up towards your hip, if you can think that, so that you're not hyperextending the calf or the knee here, but you're opening up the toes. So the exercise would be, if the toes are collapsed into each other, just spread them out. And sometimes you have to use your hands to spread them out and press those 4 points into the mat and then lift the arch. Noticing if I'm collapsing here, so if I do need to externally rotate my ankles, and you can do that with your hand. It's a really nice way to create that intelligence. So externally rotate the ankles, press these points down into the mat, stamp through the outer edge of your heel here, right? So it's through here, through this part of the ankle that goes down. So stretch the back of the leg much more, and then lift the arches. And so this is very powerful, and you can do it anytime. So another great thing to do is just to spread the toes. And when you spread the toes, you were thinking of here's the ball of the foot. Bring the ball of the foot away from, so you're not thinking spreading the toes, you're thinking spread here, right? From the ball of, spread the toes here. And then make sure that when you're spreading the toes, you're not collapsing inward or outward, that you have those 4 points in mind and those arches lifting. And then really think about the shoes that you wear. If you can wear shoes that are supportive, not necessarily with arch support unless you're walking for very long distances and with weight, but it's good to have space so the feet as you're walking can spread and lift those arches. I hope this video helps, and it helps you start getting more familiar with the feet and your feet, and starting to spread the foot and keep it so that it's positioned correctly on the floor as you walk and as you practice. I hope this helps. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next video.